So, what does it really take to live a good life? I mean, not just getting by and avoiding problems, but actually flourishing. Well, today, we're going to dive into the science of well being. We're going to explore a field called positive psychology to find the tools that can help us all live a more fulfilling, more meaningful life. Does this look familiar? That inner voice that just spirals sometimes? The one that tells you you're a failure or that things are never going to change? Getting caught in these negative thought loops is a deeply, deeply human experience. But it begs a really important question. Why is that? Why does all the negative stuff seem to have so much more weight? Why does it grab our attention and refuse to let go? To figure that out, we actually need to take a quick look back at how psychology has traditionally viewed the human mind. You know, for a long, long time, the map that psychology was using to navigate the human experience, well, it was kind of incomplete. It showed all the tricky, difficult terrain, but it pretty much left out all the sunny landscapes. Let's take a closer look at that old map. See, for most of its history, the main goal was to diagnose and treat what was broken. Think of it this way. The focus was on moving people from a state of suffering, say a -8, up to a neutral point, a 0. And don't get me wrong, that work is absolutely crucial. But it left a huge question just hanging there. What happens after you get to 0? And this is where our map gets a whole lot more exciting. A new field started to emerge that wanted to explore the other side of that line, the journey from 0 into the positive. In 1998, a psychologist named Martin Seligman helped officially launch this new subfield, and positive psychology started asking a totally different set of questions. Instead of what's wrong with you, it started asking what's right with you. It's the scientific study of what makes us flourish, how we can actively cultivate things like joy, courage, and personal growth. And this slide right here, it just lays out the shift in perspective perfectly. Traditional psychology was really good at dealing with the life below 0 column, all the stress, the illness, the frustration. Positive psychology is all about the life above 0 column. It's about happiness, optimism, compassion, and resilience. It's about giving us the tools not just to survive, but to truly thrive. So, what's the engine that actually drives us into that above 0 territory? Well, it turns out that positive emotions do a lot more than just feel good for a little while. They have a real, lasting impact. Let's take this little story about a guy named Tushar. So he's feeling great, right? His teacher praised him, he's feeling confident. And what does that good feeling lead to? An action he might not have taken on a normal day. This simple scenario is a perfect doorway into a really powerful idea from a psychologist named Barbara Fredrickson. It's called the broaden and build theory, and it's pretty simple when you break it down. First, you experience a positive emotion, like Tushar's happiness. This feeling doesn't just feel good, it literally broadens your mindset. It opens you up, you see more possibilities. That in turn leads you to take new actions, which then builds your long-term resources. In this case, Tushar built a new social connection. So one good feeling can kickstart this incredible upward spiral of growth. Okay, so if we're gonna build this upward spiral for ourselves, what are the essential tools we need in our personal toolkit? Let's break down a few of the most important ones. First up, happiness. Now, let's be clear, this isn't about just having a smile plastered on your face 24/7. It's a deeper state of satisfaction and well-being. And what's so important to remember is that it's totally subjective. What makes you happy might be totally different from what makes me happy. There is no one-size-fits-all formula. Next in the toolkit, we've got optimism. So if happiness is about how you're feeling in the here and now, optimism is all about how you view the future. It's that forward-looking attitude, a core belief that, yeah, things might be tough right now, but the path ahead is ultimately a good one. And our third tool is empathy, the ability to not just understand what someone is going through, but to actually feel it from their perspective. This one is huge. It's the glue that holds our relationships together, and, as we know, strong social connections are an absolute cornerstone of a good life. Now, what's really fascinating is to see how these tools, especially optimism, actually play out in real life. This slide just nails the contrast between the two mindsets. An optimist sees an opportunity, where a pessimist sees a curse. They have more self-confidence and just a fundamental hope about what's to come. So, let's make this super practical. Imagine a guy named Mahesh loses his job. The event is the same. It's a fact. But how he interprets that fact, well, that changes everything. So, the pessimistic response?
He feels completely defeated. The internal monologue is probably something like, I'm a failure. This is hopeless. Things are never, ever going to get better. The setback becomes this permanent catastrophe that defines who he is.
But an optimist, they reframe the exact same event. Their thinking goes more like, okay, this is temporary. This is a challenge, for sure, but I can overcome it. This one failure doesn't define who I am as a person. You see the difference? It's not about pretending the problem isn't there. It's about seeing it as a temporary and surmountable hurdle. And this ability to reframe, to bounce back, brings us to the ultimate skill that all these other tools help to build. It's the thing that lets us navigate all the inevitable challenges life is going to throw at us. And that skill is resilience. Resilience is not about being untouched by difficulty. It's not about having armor that nothing can penetrate. It's about your ability to bounce back from difficulty. It's the psychological strength that lets you face adversity and not just recover, but actually grows stronger because of it. So, if there's one thing to take away from all this, it's that well-being isn't just something that happens to you by luck. It's a set of skills that you can actively learn and build. And that leaves us with a final thought to take with you. What's just one small positive action you can take starting today to build your own well-being?